Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday to you. It's that time of the week where I'm here to give you guys a little bit of a roundup of the art that's been happening in our community and what you guys have been working on, the projects you've been working on, and the questions that you've been asking. It is awesome to see everyone so far. We've got Mary from Indiana, a mighty Midwesterner. We've got Val, who just warmed up her coffee. I also dashed to the microwave right before this broadcast for a little warm up. Got Jason, who said Denver's getting some snow, which is crazy, but not surprising. Tina's checking in. We've got Gail. Gail's asking when she'll see the sun in Massachusetts, and I agree, it is gray and gross here in Ohio, so I would love to see the sun at some point too. Excellent to see Gail. We've got Amanda and John as usual, who I'm going to be seeing John next weekend at our little Chicago sketch meetup, which I'm super pumped about. We've got Robert checking in too, and Dina and Corinne, which is great, and Ray as well, and Audrey. So excellent to see you all. Thanks for tuning in. So some of the first stuff that I want to show you today is that we've got so much art happening in our mixed media journaling course. And the thing that I love about this class is that the tools that people are working with, the ways that our instructors are teaching, really kind of lend themselves to students being able to share their stories on the pages of their journals, which is pretty normal. A lot of people that draw share their stories, obviously, but I think there's something a lot more emotional about the way that students are making art for this course. So I wanted to just point out a few really cool examples from the schoolyard this week. This example was really moving, and this was actually created by Jody, who's in Australia. And she actually created this spread as a response to the wildfires that they're dealing with right now. And I just thought it was really powerful and really raw. And I'm really glad that Jody kind of had this outlet for something that's pretty scary. So to all of our friends in Australia and in California dealing with fires, just know that we're thinking about you. And thank you for sharing that, Jody. Renee also shared this really cool spread that she did, and she used the words new adventures. And it just seemed like a really nice, simple but uplifting journal spread. And she actually shared, when she posted this, about some new professional opportunities that she's had involving equine therapy and working with kids, kind of solving some emotional issues, riding horses, and doing recreational activities. So, let's see, Renee, I love that you were able to share this sort of piece of your professional life in your journal spread, which is really cool. Another student, Carly, was actually experiencing some stress at work, going through negotiations for teacher contracts, I believe, for the next year. And our teachers do a really, really hard job every day in classrooms. And I love that Carly was able to kind of use this spread to kind of just let off some steam. And she didn't even use any text. She just said that she sort of let it out. And I think she came up with a really beautiful journal spread. And the other thing that I like about this class and this medium is that it doesn't all have to be serious and raw emotion if you don't want it to be. So for some of these journal spreads and some of these homework assignments, students are just able to kind of escape and have fun and play with shapes and not to put too much thought into it. And I love this example that Anne shared where she used these really cool window stamps to create this really colorful spread. And I thought this was just kind of light and a lot of fun. It looks like she had a lot of fun making it. So that's sort of the two polar opposite ways of using art journaling. But I just love seeing the many ways that you guys are approaching it. So keep up the great work. We'll be talking with Seth Apter later today for the Q&A. So I hope to see those of you in the comments also showing up to our Q&A on the YouTube channel at 12 Eastern. And moving on, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what students have been sharing in the schoolyard outside of class. So Anne shared this lovely little drawing, which I'll try to make a little bigger. And she actually came to us as part of the iPad course, but she's been starting to explore analog drawing and share a little bit more of hand-drawn stuff. And I love that Anne has, gotten up the courage to share her non-digital art with us. So Anne, great job. Thank you for sharing that lovely little cafe scene. And it looks like we've had a few more people trickle in. We've got Penny is here, and JL is here, which is great, and Anne from Germany. Lovely to see you all. And another artist in the community that shared a really interesting story this week was Yuta, and she actually did this really cool project where she took a weekend workshop in welding, and she started to use sheet metal as her drawing surface. And I loved that she was kind of branching out and drawing on a different material, and it kind of made me wonder, what other surfaces could I put a drawing on that are a little different and a little more exciting. So Yuta shared her welding journey with us in the schoolyard. Thank you for that. And another student that has been sharing just some other artwork that I personally loved was Natalia. Shared this beautiful sketch and talked about how sometimes she struggles with drawing trees. And I think I go through this too whenever I'm drawing outside. If I approach a tree, I kind of just make this big mass of little lines, and it doesn't always look exactly like a tree, and that's fine. But I love the way that Natalia sort of captured these yellow leaves, and I just think it turned out beautifully, and it's really simple. She didn't have to labor over individual leaves for the whole drawing. She kind of just focused her color and focused her line definition. So Natalia, thank you for sharing that. That was awesome. And a couple other student projects. I want to congratulate Clarche for, and sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, she sold one of her first editions of a print that she made based on a drawing that she did, or a painting. And she just looks so proud here, and this is with the person that bought the print. And I just thought that was so cool that she had this little artist victory and sold a print of one of her drawings. So congratulations, Clarche, and way to go. And I hope that you come up with a lot of other cool prints. And one last story that I wanted to share is, we talk a lot about meetups here and meeting up with people in real life to draw. And I just love it when students travel and they find a couple sketchbook scholars to draw with, when they're traveling. And one of our students, Don, actually went on a trip to Montreal in Canada. And he's from New Hampshire, and he did this lovely journal spread, and he spent the weekend drawing with, another student named Melanie, and then another sketcher. So they had this weekend of drawing activities, and I love that students can travel all over the place and find people to make art with. And I've done this when I've traveled, and I love just meeting up with all of you when I come through various parts of the country. And I'm actually going to Montreal in December to visit some family, so I'm hoping I can meet up with Melanie and maybe have a drawing date or two. I think that would be a lot of fun. So whenever you travel, be sure to check in the schoolyard for people that live in that area. And you might find some sketching buddies, which is always a lot of fun. So we've got 2 meetups on deck coming up next weekend. This weekend's kind of quiet on the activity front, probably because the holidays are coming up here in the States. We're getting ready to celebrate Thanksgiving. But next weekend, on the 30th of November, I'm going to actually be in Chicago, Illinois, and we're going to have a little drawing meetup at the Cultural Center in Chicago. So if you are in the Midwest, if you are able to get to Chicago in a reasonable time amount or distance, join us on the 30th at noon at the Chicago Cultural Center. And then we've got another group, Eva and the South Bay Sketchers are meeting up on December 1st at 10 a.m. Pacific time at the Palo Alto Farmers Market. So that sounds like a great time. I love that in California you can be going to a farmer's market right now, because that is not exactly what we're doing in Ohio. It's a little too chilly for that. But check this out with Eva if you're going to be in the South Bay area on December 1st. Uh-oh, it looks like the video might have frozen, so Gail's saying she doesn't see me anymore. But that is all for this week's bulletin, and I hope I didn't disappear on you guys. But if I did, apologies for that. And I hope that you have an awesome weekend, and for those of you here in the States, have an amazing Thanksgiving next week. Thanks for joining. And also, Val mentioned that the Urban Sketchers Bishop are meeting up this Sunday. Sorry, Val, I missed that. I didn't see it in the schoolyard, so I might have blanked. So if you are in the area where Val is, the Urban Sketchers Bishop in California chapter is meeting up this Sunday. And you can find more details for that in the Facebook group. I believe she's posted that as an event. And Dina, thanks for confirming that you can still see me. So hopefully I didn't get cut off or make a funny face and get frozen. Thank you all for joining. I see Ken, and thanks Jason, and we will see you next week. Have an awesome weekend.